It's like when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about something that I've actually wanted to talk about for a while, but I actually just never got around to it, unfortunately. But today we're going to be tackling the topic, so what is it like to be a Christian teenager? So I'm just going to get right into it. So I've been going to church basically all my life. There has never been a Sunday where I was not at church because I just didn't feel like going. There has never been that for me. And then later on, when I was maybe about 14 years old, 13 or 14 actually, is when I finally started to get serious about God, because I remember one day after church, and mind you, I don't know what was going on. God knows what was going on, but I didn't know at the time. My pastor, I would watch, this is going all over the place, but so I was 13 years old, I was in a church. In that church, you would have children. I would be the one that would go to the back with the kids to watch them while the sermon was going on. Following? Okay. So first, it started off as the pastor asking me to teach the kids like Sunday school while I was in the back with them. Mind you, I'm 13 years old. I have no idea what she's talking about. And if you guys know Mike Todd,
what did he say?
I was watching him at the time. He was better then. You know, I would just get some of my messages from him, honestly, because I didn't know nothing about like seeking God.
That's right, girlie. Speak the truth and shame the devil.
How to hear him properly, how to write things on my own. So I just got messages from him, and I was like, okay, I'll teach you guys this. And at the time, Pastor Mike was actually teaching about like the grace of God and how it's unearned and how it's the favor of God and stuff like that. So I just be teaching that to the kids. And then soon after that, I remember there was one day where, you know, church had finished and she came up to me, and you know, I've been thinking, okay, she's gonna say hi, hello, you know, short conversation. She says, Anika, there is ministry locked up on the inside of you. And me at 13 years old, I'm like, okay. Okay, what do you want me to do with that? Like, you ain't never said that before. Why you thought that today was a good time to do that? Like,
whoa, we ain't never did that before. Why you thought today was the day to do?
I didn't know what she was talking about, but I was like, okay, I'll receive it anyway. And so soon after that moment, Youth Sunday comes. You know what she tells me? She says,
Anika, can you please preach on Youth Sunday?
And me, being the obedient kid that I was raised to be, says, yeah, sure, of course. Never written a sermon before, never preached a message, never done anything like that in my life. Never even knew how to seek God on my own. But honestly, I said yes by faith, because why would I say no to that, you know? It was an opportunity that I feel like a lot of people don't get, and I said, you know what, I'll do it. Because I take anything that my pastors ask me to do as something that God is asking me to do. Because if they're supposed to be the example of God for the church, then clearly this is not something that, you know, is coming from them. It's something that's ordained by God. So that's the way that I see it. So that's one of the reasons why I said yes, or the main reason why I agreed to do it. And so that Sunday came, and then I was preaching, and I preached maybe like 3-4 times in that year. And then after that, I think we moved churches. I preached almost every month in that church. And now my parents have a church. I preach once a month in that church. And so now I'm here. And this is not like kiddie preaching. I'm not doing any of that, because they're adults that I'm preaching to. This is not children that I need to baby things down for. You know how Paul was always, if you don't know Paul, he's an apostle in the Bible, and he was basically someone that, you know, preached the gospel and was very bold about it. And so Paul in the Bible, he was always talking about how he didn't want to have to go back down to the level where he first was with certain people that he had taught about the Bible, because he was expecting them to grow, and he was expecting them to flourish in the word that he had preached to them, but they weren't doing that. And so he was getting upset, and that's something that I feel like I shouldn't have to be going down back to the basics with supposed to be adult Christians. And so I'm gonna preach to you like you can handle the meals and not the milk, because that's what you should be able to handle at this point in your life, right? And so that being said, I am a Christian teenager, and I don't mean somebody that goes to church on Sunday because their parents force them to, and they go and they don't actually enjoy it, and we don't even understand fully yet who God is and all that stuff. No, I'm not them. And being that and recognizing that can be very, very difficult at times, because I feel convicted, like in public settings around my friends, way more than I'm sure that they do. Even if they know that something is wrong, because I have a relationship with God, it's completely different for me. It's not like I know something's wrong and the feeling in my conscience is, a little bit. It's not anything like that, really. It's God speaking to me in that moment. Not even just through my conscience, but like through my spirit as well. Because I'm just close to him now. And you can't do a lot of the things that other people do. And solely God has gotten me, he's really thinning me out. He's thinning me out to perfection. And you know what? I'm not mad at that, because I remember even in grade 9, I had this phase where I would listen to like every single genre. I was listening to gospel reggae, I was listening to hard rock and roll. When you hear that, that was me. That's what I was listening to. Hard metal rock bands. You remember that song that went on viral on TikTok? That was like, when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city. That was me. I started listening to, right before he started telling me to stop, to cut off all this music, I started listening to country. I was in R&B, I was in pop, anything that you name, I was listening to it. So you have someone that's hungry for God, listening to all these different music that's being influenced by the devil. And I know a lot of people, they get weird about that stuff. They're like, oh, the music's not influenced by the devil, the person's a Christian.
Okay, cool, they say they're Christian, but are they living that way though?
Really? What did Lucifer do in heaven? Was he not musically talented? Do you not think that he's going to use that same thing to come back into the world and pervert it without you knowing?
See, he's already deceived you, girly. He's already deceived you and you don't even know.
If you think that you have light on the inside of you, but it's truly darkness, how dark that light actually is. Come on. So it's very difficult for me to live a pure life in this extremely dark world. Like I was talking about before, the music I listen to, right? So slowly I was like, okay, stop listening to rock and roll. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. At least I have all these other genres. I was like, start listening to R&B. I said R&B, because mind you, R&B was my main thing. It's what I listened to. It was mine. Any song by Daniel Caesar, you name it, that was me. Any song by Caesar, you name it, that was me. Any song by Summer Walker, you name it, that was me. And then he said country. I said, okay, easy. I hardly even listened to that to begin with. And then slowly, just giving out everything. Before I knew it, I was only in Christian music, and that was it. And I'm still like that today. I only listen to Christian music because I value the things that I put into my ears, and I'm mindful about it. You have to, if you want to, you have to grow. As a believer, you have to consistently be working on yourself and not pushing yourself to extreme limits that you know that you can't handle. Because even though Paul knew that he wanted to be preaching to them food and not milk, the full gospel and not the milk gospel, he still preached to them what they could handle. do what you can handle in your situation, and then your situation is going to be completely different from mine. I've been going through this process for like 4 years now. It doesn't just happen overnight, and you hear a lot of people say that, but it truly doesn't. And that's why we can't judge other people, because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know how long they've been trying to get from the state that they're in, you know?
Just to speak on that a little bit more, because I feel like that's a point that's actually really good. Like, some people, they're really trying to get out of their situation, but like, it's just taking them time. Like, they don't know how. Maybe they don't have the resources, maybe they don't have a good stable church or good pastor. Like, stuff like that can really affect like the growth of a Christian's life.
So it's very important that, you know, we stay very, I don't want to say clear-minded, because I don't think that's a word, but I feel like, I don't know, very transparent, maybe that's the word I should use, with the way that we treat, or maybe very understanding with the way that we treat people and how we see them, because you just never know. And, you know, because I was, and still am, because I'm hungry for God, God just continues to elevate me to different levels. And it's not because, you know, I'm a good person or because I'm perfect, because the testimony will come out one day. But I'm not a perfect girly. I'm really, really not. But it's just because I never gave up. And that is something that God will always acknowledge. He will always acknowledge those who persevere, those who endure when it's hard, those who run back to him. And I'm not saying if you don't run back to him, then he's not going to call you, he's not going to work in your life. But it's much easier for him to do a work in your life when you're already willing, when you're already ready for the instruction to be able to be obedient. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot harder to speak to someone when you don't know if they'll listen to you. So that being said, like, I'm hungry, so he uses me, and it's as simple as that. But with that being said, now, because of the degree that he uses me, I am now I have to hold myself to another standard than those around me. And I'm sure that people have seen the difference in me, the difference in the way that I dress. If you knew me in grade 7, no you didn't, no you didn't, no you didn't, no you didn't. Don't lie. Don't lie. Oh, I didn't exist in grade 7. Don't do that. If you knew me in grade 8, don't lie. Because I did not exist in grade 8. Okay? You knew me in grade 9? Grade 10, it was COVID. Grade 11? I'm trying to think of an outfit that I would have worn that I would have really regretted right now. If you knew me in grade 9, no you didn't. If you knew me in grade 10, no you didn't. Because grade 10 was my emo phase. Ugh. We don't speak about it though. We don't speak about it. God save me. And yes, you can be Christian and emo, but like I said, different levels, different standards. Oh, child. We don't talk about Bruno, child. But yeah, I'm probably gonna talk about this a lot on my channel because it's something. It's my life basically, to always be having to pull myself up, and not let other people bring me down. And my friends will tell you, like. Actually, no, maybe they won't tell you because maybe they, you know, but I don't tolerate certain things, and I don't have to even say it for them to know either. There's just certain things that I'm trying to bring people higher with me, you know, and I'm trying to show them how to get there, and I can't be around them saying, get to this point, get to this level, but still be, not be holding them accountable when they're coming lower from the standard that they're reaching for, you know? You have to be the friend sometimes that says, what you're doing is actually wrong, or correct somebody, or encourage somebody. But anyways, all that being said, this is what it's like to be a Christian teenager. Is it hard? Sometimes. But is it joyful? Extremely. 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 Because you know what? It's absolutely rewarding to know what the plan of God is for your life at such a young age, to be called from such a young age. It is a complete honor, and I'm extremely happy that I get the privilege to do what I do. To be a YouTuber, to be a student, to be, active in my church, to not be just someone that sits down. And some people are okay with that. I would be okay with that, but that's not what God has asked me to do, right? So I'm honored to do what he asked me to do. And that's simply it. So I guess, like I said, I'll be making more videos like this, so watch out. And see you guys later.